shot, now heaven knows, anything goes.
Wait, hold on. Anything goes? Isn't that what's been happening in America for some time now? I think more and more Americans are waking up to this absurdity, and it shows by the overwhelming response we're getting with new volunteers. We hear and see you believe COS is the solution, as big as the problem. So thank you, and let's keep growing this grassroots army. Our vision is to build a strong, engaged army of self-governing activists, and our mission statement is to restore self-governance by recruiting, training, and deploying citizen activists to engage in all levels of government. So, if you've had enough of anything goes, join us every Monday at 7 p.m. as our state director and host, Dale Parrish, will show you how we can actually make a difference by using the Constitution to save the Constitution and our country. So join us now for Indiana Live!
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Maringo Mike, for that introduction. My name is Dale Parrish. As Maringo Mike said, I'm the state director for Convention of States here in Indiana, and I want to welcome you to our broadcast this evening. Got a good lineup for you this evening, as always, I should say. But first of all, I want to just mention once again, I want to thank everyone for the roundtable success that we've had. If you've watched our broadcast for some time now, you know that on the fourth Monday of every month, we devote the entire broadcast to a roundtable meeting. Little different format, expanded format, a little longer, but we're very excited about doing these roundtable meetings, and we've got a great one coming up. But first of all, I want to say thank you, everyone, for making the last one that we had on September 27th a great success. Now, our next one coming up is very shortly. As a matter of fact, it's next Monday evening, the 25th. So 25th of October, and we're going to have the president and CEO of Convention of States, Mark Meckler, is going to be our special guest that evening. So we're going to get a chance to talk with the boss and ask some questions of him, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. Mark always has a lot to say. So once again, roundtable on the fourth Monday of every month, and the next one coming up here in October will be next Monday evening, October 25th. Now, also just want to just take a few seconds to once again let you know that we're coming to you through our Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana, but we're also live streaming to our YouTube channel, COS Indiana. So that's an alternative way of viewing our broadcast. Now, if you are a YouTube viewer this evening, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can be a subscriber to our YouTube channel. Now, also want to mention once again, the audio portion of our Monday evening broadcast we offer in the form of a podcast, COS Indiana Live podcast. So let me take this opportunity then, for those of you that are listening to our broadcast via podcast, welcome aboard. Thank you for tuning in. I know that there are individuals that prefer to listen to our broadcast via a podcast format. So thank you for tuning in. And once again, that's a COS Indiana Live podcast. Now you can find that at this address, anchor.fm/Dale-Parrish and the number 8. That's anchor.fm/Dale-Parrish and the number 8. That's where you can find our podcast. Now, let me briefly kind of go through the different segments of our broadcast this evening so you'll know what to expect. The very first segment we call the interview segment. This is where we have our special guest that we bring on and talk to this individual for a while. We try as much as possible to bring on leadership individuals from our organization here in Indiana, because our target audience for this broadcast is we're trying to reach Hoosiers here in the state of Indiana that are not supporters of Convention of States as yet. And so we're trying to reach out to you to get you to become supporters of Convention of States. It's called growing the grassroots is what this is all about. So anyway, therefore, the guests that we bring on here will generally be leadership individuals from our organization here in Indiana. Sometimes we'll have people that are not necessarily Indiana leadership, maybe someone from our national organization, for example. But and I always like to bring on new people that have moved into new leadership positions, and that's who we have this evening. We have a young lady by the name of Cheryl Shopmeyer. Cheryl, quite honestly, was on this broadcast just a few months ago as one of our new district captains, and she's done such a great job that we've made her our region captain. So now she is in charge of, I believe, 7 or so districts. So we'll be bringing her on and introducing her to you again as one of our newest region captains. And we'll talk to Cheryl about what her objectives are and so forth. I think you'll find it very interesting. She's done a great job for us and doing a great job for us. Now, second segment is the information segment. This is where I bring on my PowerPoint and we tell you about some things that we're trying to do here in Indiana, what we stand for, how we're doing things, some upcoming events, got some pictures for you. So that'll all be in the information segment. And if I haven't covered them already, we'll get into viewer comments and questions that have been submitted. So we always try our best to get those on and recognize people that are viewing and watching us this evening. Then in the fourth segment, call it the contributors segment, when we have certain individuals in our organization that we've identified as COS Indiana Live contributors. And we have one of our regulars on this evening, John Ackerman. John's contributions are called John's Journal. So we've got a new one from John that we're going to present tonight. John loves doing this, and he's always sending me clips. These are pre-recorded, very short video clips of certain things on his mind, certain things that he wants to express an opinion on. So I know you'll enjoy it. So that's what we have planned for the fourth segment in the contributor segment. Now in the final segment, I call it the invitation segment. This is where we're going to invite you to join Convention of States, and we're going to kind of wrap things up. And I'll invite you to join Convention of States, and I'll tell you how to go about doing that. So that will be in our final segment this evening. Well, let me get the other banners up here that I want to show when I bring this young lady up. So without further ado, let's get into our first segment, and let me bring Cheryl Shopmeyer up into the screen. Hello, Cheryl.
Hey, Dale. How you doing?
Just fine, just fine. Let me turn my volume up here a little bit so I can hear you better.
Okay.
So how you doing this evening?
Great.
Good. Well, now you heard all the things I said about you in the opening there.
Yes.
Were those all true things? They were, really, weren't they?
Well, I love the part that you think I'm young, so I love that, and I appreciate it.
All right. Well, to me, you are. And as a matter of fact, just about everyone in convention of states here in Indiana is young, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, Cheryl, welcome this evening. Now, Cheryl, let's get started. You are our new region captain for Region 7.
Yes.
Now, we're undergoing a realignment of our regions, which this is not necessarily significant information for viewers tonight, but we were organized in the state of Indiana around 9 regions, and we are now in the process of realigning these regions. We're going to go to 14 regions, and you are going to be Region 7. All right. Tell us now, where in the state is Region 7?
Okay. Well, basically, my region is west of Indianapolis and south. So we're looking at Greencastle, Clinton, Terre Haute, Ellisville, Jasonville, and I actually live in Bowling Green. And most people don't know there's a Bowling Green, Indiana, but there really is.
You always say that when you say you're from Bowling Green. No one should know where Bowling Green is, but
Well, it is pretty tiny.
is it? How big a town is it, by the way?
Well, not very big. It does have a post office.
Okay.
That's about it.
Is that it? Okay. All right. So, what'd you say? West of Indianapolis, west and south of Indianapolis.
West and south of Indianapolis. Yeah.
Okay.
Over to a little bit of Bloomington, but towards Bloomington anyway.
Okay. Of course, Terre Haute is probably, I guess, the main population center in your region.
I spend a lot of time in Terre Haute.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Oh, that'll give everyone kind of an idea where your region is located. Well, one of the things I always ask leadership guests to do that I have on the broadcast is to tell us your convention of state story, not your life story, but the story of how you came to convention of states. So tell us your story, Cheryl.
Okay. Well, I was watching Biblical Citizenship with Rick Green and Patriot Academy, and Mark Meckler came on, and he started talking about this convention of states. And I was like, why have I never heard this before? So I got online afterwards and started looking around and immediately signed the petition, volunteered. And I was like, wait, this is not enough. I want to be in a leadership position. I need to do more. So then I applied to be a district captain. And that was back in March of this year.
Was just in March, was it? Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't remember for sure how long ago it was.
Yes.
Now, Cheryl, didn't you tell me you went to college, right?
Yes, at ISU.
ISU, Indiana State University.
Yes.
Political science, was it?
Yes, I have a degree in political science. Yes.
Okay, so you kind of had an interest in politics and what was going on in the country, right? So
very much so.
Very much. Okay.
But more so now than ever before. And I'm learning things that I did not learn in college. So this has been great.
How true. Well, Cheryl, let's get into your new region captain. You're already off to a great start. Tell us, let's get into some of the what we consider objectives that you've told me that you want to try and accomplish in your region.
Well, one of them is recruiting district captains. I have 7 districts.
7.
And I just brought on board one district captain to replace me in my district position. So she's really on fire. I'm very excited for her. And but I've got 6 more to find. So
okay, yeah, we've of course a stepping stone position for a region captain is to be a district captain. But when you become a region captain, we want you to manage the other district captains in your region. So we ask that you give up your district captain position and find a replacement. And you said you've already found a replacement, right?
Absolutely.
Super,
She
super.
starts the training tomorrow evening. I'm very excited for her.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Now, I think you mentioned to me that another objective was networking, basically. You want to talk about that then?
Well, I have been systematically going through the list of people in my district. Of course, I will be expanding that now that I have an actual region. Just calling people, and when I get somebody on the phone, um, I try to get them involved some way in some manner. A lot of people don't want to do that, and I get that. But what's really cool is, and I don't know if this is the right place for it, but we had a gathering last Thursday that was absolutely phenomenal.
Let's.
We met at, and this was Marie, the new district captain, and I imagine you'll have her on here one of these days.
I'm sure.
Um, she she was just so excited, and we decided to have a meeting at a cafe. Actually, we have a cafe in Bowling Green, and we got together. There were 19 of us,
Well,
and we had a
let me bring
super.
up. I'm going to bring up a picture here. Now, this is,
Okay.
folks. This is a slide that I'll be showing again when I get into the next segment of the broadcast. But Cheryl and I were talking about this, and I thought, well, I'll just bring up the slide. And this is Cheryl's group over here on the as you're viewing the screen here, the far right picture. And and Cheryl, I'm telling you, when I was a district captain, my first gathering, my first meeting, I was lucky to have anyone there. And here how many did you have there? You said
There were 19 of us
19.
altogether.
I
And
mean,
a 16-year-old boy, the son of our new district captain, he came too, which was just incredible. They were so excited. They had so many questions. I was able to answer most of them. I have one that I'm going to need help with, but they are, it is so awesome to be able to get together with people that are like-minded and use those connections in the networking process, because there were people there that, like, one girl is going to connect me with some legislators, and they just, each of them offer something in order to connect to the next person.
yeah,
So I mean, if each one reaches one, and that was the challenge at the end of the meeting. I asked them first if they wanted to meet again, and they were so excited. They were like, yeah. So we planned a meeting, and I said, well, your challenge is to bring one person with you, because if we'd had any more people at that cafe, they wouldn't have fit.
I was going to
Because it's
say
a
that
tiny
looks
place.
pretty tight there.
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
Yeah.
And I stood the whole time. I didn't even get to sit at the table. So, but anyway, that was great. It was awesome. And their challenge was to bring one person, because if each one reaches one, we double our group. So
Yeah,
we're meeting
yeah.
at a different location next month.
Well, good for you. Good for you. That's you're off to a great start there. Again, I'll be showing this slide again, and you can see here we've had some other gatherings, breakfasts, dinners with in other regions as well. But I wanted to go ahead and bring this up since Cheryl had wanted to mention this and had put that together. So let me get us back on the screen here. And okay, I'm gonna get that. All right, I'm set now. Okay, so networking, you're off to a great start there. You're doing a great job there. Now, I think another objective, of course, has to be legislators, right?
Right. And like I said, one of the ladies that was there is very well connected politically. And she's offered to contact some people, and we're going to schedule a meeting. I'm just waiting on her response to what we talked about. So that
Yeah.
should be happening soon as well.
Well, and so for those of you that maybe are not familiar with convention or how we're organized, the district captains one of their main responsibilities is to um, develop a relationship with their state legislators, state senator and state representative. So, of course, as a region captain, you need to ensure that gets done. So, yeah,
It's going to
that'll
happen.
be great. How is this? This person that's going to help you? How is it's a lady? You said.
Yes.
How is she connected with the legislators? Do you know? Is
Well,
she
I
in?
know she's friends with the lieutenant governor, and she's connected to several legislators. So it won't just be the ones in my district. It will be others in the area. So basically, the region.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, great.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you had mentioned to me that given your location in the state, you have access to some major universities in our state, right?
Yes, I do.
So, which ones? Which ones are you? You named them earlier. Which ones are they?
Well, I have Indiana State, of course, my alma mater, and there's Rose Holman Institute is in Terre Haute, and now that I'm part of Greencastle area, there's DePaul there,
DePaul.
and
Okay.
then I mean there's smaller colleges like Ivy Tech and that. So I hope to be able to reach out to those schools and see if I can find like a young Republicans group, somebody that would want us to come and speak on behalf of Convention of States, explain what that is, and explain what Article 5 is all about.
Sure. Those are uh, great opportunities, and we're always looking at ways to reach out to younger people. So, good luck with that.
Yes,
Hopefully you can. Now, you graduated from Indiana State University, right?
correct.
Do you have are you do you have any connections there still, or are you active in?
I would have to find out who's still there.
Yeah.
I'd have to check that out. I don't know for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, then another thing you had mentioned, you've got events, right?
Yes. I have a gun show that's scheduled for November. I'm waiting to hear back from the organizer of that event. And then I found out yesterday there was an event in Brazil, a gun show. So I'm hoping
Yep.
to be able to participate in both of those.
We for those of you that are not familiar, we do county fairs, we do festivals, and we set up what we call information tables where we provide information. Can be literature, can be just talking with people about Convention of States. And gun shows seem to be a really great venue for us to do that. Got a lot of like-minded people there that are interested in what we're doing. Generally, Second Amendment, of course, individuals. So, yeah, that first gun show you mentioned, I think that's Sullivan, Indiana,
Yes, in
right?
Sullivan.
Where is Sullivan located?
It's south of Terre Haute.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right, okay. I kind of know where Brazil is. We're from the St. Louis area, so we would go across Route 70,
Right.
and we go. We didn't go through Brazil necessarily, but certainly saw the signs and so forth.
Well, there's also St. Mary of the Woods, but that one would be a little more problematic. They're pretty liberal there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
St. Mary's of the Woods.
And my husband has a cousin who is a teacher at St. Mary of the Woods.
Oh, really?
That's in West Terre Haute.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. Now I like to end up our conversations, our interviews with leadership individuals on a note of self-governance. And I thought about putting a banner up here calling Cheryl a domestic terrorist. because you're very involved in local school board, aren't you?
Yeah, I know that what is being taught the kids is not good um, overall. And I knew that I've been wanting to get involved anyway with the schools in some way, shape, or form. And so I just decided to go to a school board meeting. It actually happened to be an emergency meeting about the masks, and they didn't let any parents speak. The room was packed. Um, and they weren't going to hear anybody say anything about those masks. So um, I went back to the next meeting and I was prepared to speak, and it was a regular meeting. It wasn't a special session. So the last two board meetings that I've been to, I've been able to speak, and so far nobody's come and arrested me. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think that's what a shame, calling these people domestic terrorists, and that's awful. That's awful. Well, good for you, Cheryl. Uh, we encourage leadership individuals. Well, we encourage supporters as well to get involved in your local communities, or state level, county level, city level, community level. Get involved, because I think that's an important way of affecting what's happening in our country. And so we call it self-governance, and it's one of the main pillars of convention of states, is to exercise self-governance.
Well, I think that part of the problem is people don't know what to do. They're so frustrated, really don't know what to do. But if you get involved with convention of states, you will learn very quickly what you should do.
There you go. Getting involved in convention of states is something, that's what you can do.
Exactly.
We are the solution as big as the problem. That's right. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and
Thank you.
enjoyed having you, and keep up the good work. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right, Cheryl Schottmeyer. Okay, Cheryl, we recognized Cheryl right off the bat when she came on as a district captain. She told us all the things that she wanted to accomplish, and she's well on her way to doing that. So I think she's going to be a great. She was a good district captain, and she's going to be a great region captain too. Okay, let's get into the second segment, and that's the information segment. Let me bring up my my PowerPoint. We'll kind of zip through this, so we won't bore you too long here. But our vision statement here in Indiana is the same as our national vision statement, and that's to build a strong, engaged army of self-governing activists. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. Our specific mission statement here in Indiana for 2021, and it's going to remain for, I got to go ahead and change this slide. It's going to be the same thing for 2022, and that's to restore self-governance. See, self-governance, there's that term again, by recruiting, training, and deploying citizen activists to engage in all levels of government. So that's our mission statement. Now, these are the specific objectives that we've been trying to accomplish here in Indiana in 2021. We won't go into detail on all of these, but basically growing the number of supporters, growing the grassroots, getting younger people involved, expanding the number of region captains and district captains, get involved in legislation and education. Those are all things that we are still trying, and still making good progress on accomplishing in 2021. Now, I like to, very soon we'll start focusing on the objectives that we've set forth for us in 2022. We just in September had our strategy meeting for 2022, and these are the objectives that we have set for next year. Once again, growing the number of supporters, and getting all the regions. I mentioned earlier, we're going from 9 to 14, getting all the regions getting an active region captain in all those regions, expanding the number of district captains that we have. Now, when we talk about district captains, you have to understand that we're organized around the lower house, the House districts, I should say, that are established here in Indiana for our House of Representatives. And that's 100 districts, 100 lower house districts. And we want to get to 60, having a district captain in at least 60 of those districts in 2022. Hopefully someday we'll have a district captain in all 100 districts. So, but in 2022, we want to get to 60. We want to support as many as 3 specific bills of legislature coming up in 2022. And then we want to conduct 250 educational presentations. So this is a tall order for us, but we're very much about education here in Convention of States, not only in Indiana, but nationally, very, very much into education. So we're going to step out here and we put a number on it for next year. We're going to do 250 educational presentations. Talk about some resources that we have here available to us in Indiana. Of course, our national website, conventionofstates.com. Embedded in that is our state webpage. Now, you're going to hear us make reference to this national website many times. It's a major resource for us, conventionofstates.com. And that's going to be where I'm going to direct you to go to if you want to join Convention of States here in Indiana. Facebook, our state Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana. We're on the YouTube channel. We also post recordings of our broadcast to Parler, Rumble, Twitter, LinkedIn. We produce every month a terrific state newsletter, and we'll, if you're a supporter, you'll get that via email. But if you don't take the email, you can find it on Facebook, our state Facebook page, and some of these other social media platforms that we post to. A couple podcasts that we have available, the Free to Be Free podcast, as well as the COS Indiana live broadcast that I mentioned earlier. So those are resources that we have available to us. Some upcoming events that we're aware of. There may be some other ones that are in the works that I haven't got on here yet. Of course, the big one is the roundtable meeting that we have coming up next Monday, the 25th. Auburn Gun, Knife, and Outdoorsman Show in Auburn, Indiana. That's coming up that first early in November 5th through the 7th. That's at Auburn, Indiana. And then a Gun and Knife Show, Cheryl mentioned this, in Sullivan, Indiana, November 21st. So that's another one coming up. Those are some upcoming events. I wanted to show you, this is the slide that I brought up when I had Cheryl on. These are some events, pictures of events that have been occurring around our area, around the state. Some regions that are gathering together, Region 1, Region 3, and of course Cheryl's Region 7 gathering. So it's good to see this, especially now that we're past the COVID era, where we couldn't gather like this before, and we couldn't. As a matter of fact, we couldn't. Well, there weren't any county fairs going on. There weren't any festivals or gun shows going on. So now these things are all coming back online. So this is giving us the opportunity to get out and talk to people and get involved. Okay. Just want to mention our next broadcast coming up once again next Monday evening, the 25th of October. And that's we're going to have that's the roundtable, and we're going to have our special guest will be Mark Meckler. Right. Well, that's the second segment. Let me get into now the third segment, which is the viewer comments. And I know I got some comments on here that I wanted to get on to everyone. Here's Patrick Romack. Patrick is one of our leaders. He helps out in welcoming new individuals that come into Convention of States here in Indiana. Here's one, Rebecca Kirkman. Rebecca, thank you for joining us tonight. Who's you're here and I'm watching? All right. Thank you very much, Rebecca, for tuning in this evening. Another one of our leaders here in Indiana, Jerry Rowe, saying hello to everyone. So glad to have you tonight, Jerry. Matthew Zale, thanks from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Well, Matthew, thank you for tuning in. We try to target, obviously, people here in Indiana, but we're available throughout the country, quite honestly. So anyone in the country is welcome to join us. So thank you very much, Matthew, for joining us tonight. As a matter of fact, Matthew is saying, well done broadcast. So thank you very much, Matthew. We try our best to do a good job. Here's another name I've recognized before, James Cressy. Hello, Jerry, James, Rebecca, and Matthew C. saying hello to everyone. So good. Well, thank you very much, folks, for tuning in and joining us this evening. So glad to have you aboard. Glad to have you with us tonight. So, given that, let me get over here to what I want to get into now in our fourth segment, which is the contributors segment. And I'm going to bring up a gentleman that provides contributions to our broadcast many times, and that's John Ackerman. And John's contributions we call John's Journal. So John's given us a very good one tonight. I think you're going to really enjoy it. So let me bring it up here and let's get it going.
John Ackerman for Convention of States, Indiana. In the Bible, the prophet Jeremiah wrote, "I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb." Of course, Jeremiah is quoting the Lord, God, who's saying, "I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb." Does the Bible say anything about abortion? Not in so many words. There's no commandment that says, "Thou shalt not abort." There is one that says, "Thou shalt not kill." Is a fetus a human being? Is a fetus a person? Well, yes. According to science, follow the science, people, and according to Holy Scripture. Almighty God says to a grown-up man, "I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb." This is one of many reasons that I stand with Convention of States. We need to protect the unborn. They are made by God. It is God's prerogative to give life and to take life. Job said, "The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away." Not our prerogative. We can't create life. No. And we should not take life. Life is precious. Life is holy. Every human being, the Bible teaches, is made in the image and likeness of God. And Jesus Christ himself says, "Whatever you do to one of the least of these," which includes the unborn, "you've done to me." We need to stand with life. We need to stand with God. who says, "Before I knew you, I formed you in your mother's womb."
Well, I told you, John. John had some strong opinions, so that was great. That was a great one from John. John always does a good job, I think, on the contributions. So always enjoy having playing one of John's contributions. So I hope you all enjoyed that. All right. Well, let's get into then our final segment, and got a video here that I want to start off the segment with. We've played it before, but it's just really a very, very good short video that kind of sums up what Convention of States is all about. So let me play this. We'll come back then, and I'll get into actually inviting you to join and tell you how to do that. So I'll be right back.
Talk about Congress. Hey, Congress is full of people who don't know what the hell they're doing, but want to control your lives.
The longer they stay in, the more connected they become to special interests, and special interests are destroying our nation.
They give each other what they want, and they stick the taxpayer with the bill.
What's going to happen to the millennials? Unfunded liabilities plus debt now is $144 trillion.
Politicians come in and say they're going to change it, and they never, ever do.
We're not going to surrender the greatest country on the face of the earth and turn it into another failed European experiment.
The question is today, will we use the Constitution to save the Constitution?
Our frame.
Well, folks, I think we had a snafu there. I hope you're seeing me again. It says that we're still broadcasting, so I'm sorry for that. I don't know. I don't know what happened. That happens when in live streaming like this. Sometimes it could be it's some sort of a technical issue somewhere along the line. So I'm sure. So, folks, sorry for that. I'll just kind of wrap things up here, and hopefully we'll make the best of it here. If you're interested in joining Convention of States, what we're all about here in Convention of States is we want to see, according to Article 5 of our Constitution, a Convention of States held for the purpose of proposing amendments to the Constitution. Now, Article 5 in the Constitution describes two methods of amending the Constitution. One is through Congress, which is the way the Constitution has been amended to date. But there's another method, and it's called a Convention of States. If 34 state legislatures call for this to happen, then it does happen. And again, it's a convention, a group, a gathering to propose amendments to the Constitution. So any proposed amendment then would have to be ratified by 38 state legislatures. So that's what we're trying to propose. That's what we're trying to hold, is a Convention of States. We want to address the national debt. We want to address the curtailing the federal government in its outreach and term limits. So that's what we're all about. If you would like to join Convention of States, we hope you do. We will ask that you go to our national website, conventionofstates.com, and sign up. Give us your information, your personal information, sign the petition. Now, if you have time that you would like to devote and become a leader, be in one of our leadership positions, then click on the menu selection at the top called Take Action and scroll down to where it says Become a Leader and take a look at the different positions that we have. So if one's of interest to you, go ahead and make application. Don't worry, you're not obligated in any way, but we'll reach out to you and talk to you further about that selection. So that's a wrap for this evening. And once again, I'm very sorry for the technical snafu that we had this evening, but we got most of it in. So that was good. I just want to leave you with one thought. A convention of states, as a matter of fact, I might also mention Indiana has already stepped forward to call for this convention. We're 15 states have stepped forward to call for the convention. We need to get to 34, but Indiana is one of those states. But the thought I want to leave you with is, when we make this happen, and we are going to make it happen, we will be making history. An Article 5 Convention of States has never been done in the history of this country. So we're going to be making history, folks, and we want to have you come along and be a part of that. So join us, become part of the Convention of States Indiana family, and let's make this happen, folks. Once again, apologize for the snafu tonight, but I think we got most of it in. So have a good evening, and we'll see you on the roundtable next Monday. Thank you. Good night, everyone.